Hi there, me. I'm going to try again. So on Sunday, I was doing a Facebook Live, and it was also meant as the presentation for Angels Landing Spiritual Center in Toledo for their Sunday Sacred Talk. I channeled 28 straight minutes, and there was no audio. And then I spent the next 3 days figuring it out, which should not have taken that long because everything else was working. Many obstacles. The phone crashed, the computer crashed. And as I sat with that, amidst being busier than ever, I discovered a few things that I want to share today. I'm Dr. Guldal. For those of you that don't know me, I am a medicine woman, a shaman, a doctor of psychology specializing in psychoneuroimmunology, and I am a doctor of naturopathic medicine. What does all that mean? Sometimes I'm not so sure, but it means that the academic sciences are used through me as a vessel to inform what the spirit guides, what the divine want to share, how they want to formulate data through me. So I work hard, wrong word. I spend time trying to stay as pure as I can in my heart. It doesn't mean I don't bump into myself, which is exactly what happened the last few days. So last week, in my meditation around the virus, I was asking, how do I serve in this? What am I meant to do? For those of you that notice, I tend to not spend a lot of time on social media, even though I don't seem to have a problem doing presentations and TV and radio. But there's something about stepping out on social media when there's so much clutter out there that holds me back. So in my meditation around the virus, I was asking to learn more. And obviously I'd never spent time studying energetic formations of viruses before. But what I learned was how all energy, especially something that can be airborne or attach itself to fabrics but we can't see with our eyes, how easily manipulated it is through thought form, energetic vibrations. We have the understanding that thought creates our life, like what we are around us is who we are and a part of us. But this is a little different, and what it showed me was that the more afraid we are, the more panicked we are, the more it's going to come towards us. It doesn't mean we're not responsible. We need to be responsible. It doesn't mean that we don't take it seriously. We do need to do that. This virus has taken the whole world by storm, if you will. But I don't believe that anything happens without some form of spiritual purpose, even the most disastrous things. We don't always want to hear that, especially when we're in hurt or woundedness. Because there are many people afraid, not just about dying or losing a loved one, but financially afraid, economically afraid, uncertainty. It's a difficult time for us humans. We're very evolved, yet we're not. And so it showed me that the more we are in panic, the more it's going to show up around us. And that it is here to teach, but it's not necessarily our friend, right? So then I sat with what is it here to teach? And the first thing I got is that I need to step out more. And that's why the obstacles were there. So whenever many of us have a desire and attachment to do something, we will bump into ourselves. We will bump into obstacles. So without making this session, if you will, about me and my obstacles, I just want to say that when we get really attached and we really want to take that step, expect to have to bump into some walls and still to keep going, to have that tenacity to keep going. So as it told me to step forward, it also showed me that what we have is an opportunity to reset and realign. I know that's been a word that's been being tossed around, but it is true. Mother Nature has sent us to our room to think about what we've done. And for many people, it's the first stop in years to be able to just stop, be with family, be with loved ones. Hopefully not everybody's isolated. For example, my mother's in an assisted living facility in South Carolina. And they're in solitary confinement. And what is the worst thing for the elderly? Isolation. So as we're saving them, they're left with their greatest fear for many is to be all alone. So if we're not all alone, how can we connect with those we live with? Those that we are still in physical contact with? And how do we stay connected with everyone around us? So the first realignment that I see that actually brings joy to my heart is something that I've always wanted to be a part of the teaching in the world, is that everything we think and do affects everybody, right? So in indigenous times, we knew that. We knew that for the community to thrive, everyone had to be self-responsible and responsible for other. Well, this is the first time I've heard people, right? I don't want to touch that because I might be a carrier. I may hurt someone that I don't even know or see. I may hurt someone I care about. I touch a package in the grocery store. I'm worried for self and my family, so I don't want to take something off that package. But I don't want to put something up on that package. It's going to go to someone's home and potentially hurt them. Think about that. That is huge. It brings joy to my heart because it is the first step as we evolve as humans to remember what's most important. Everything I think, feel, and do affects everyone else. So as we're being so very aware of that, I ask everyone to take a moment and really consider, what does that mean? And the next thing is this fear around the virus. If we can remember from that same promise a moment ago that I am that which I think, I am that which I do, I am that I put my attention on. If we put our attention in fear, we become that. I am that I am. We have, each of us, a piece of the divine within, a piece of the Creator. We are one, as we now understand that a virus starts in China and the whole world is in unity without race, ethnicity, socioeconomic status. Everyone's been shown we are one and the same. It's the great humbler, but it's up to us to take the lesson, It's what we do with it. So I am that. I am the word which I speak. I am the word that I think. Aham Brahmasmi, I am God. So if we look at the virus, if we look at our economic situations with fear and only fear, we will become that. And that's all there will be. If we're looking only at the news and only at the horrors and the terrible and the bad things that are happening or could potentially happen, we're off balance. We're out of that harmony that we need to be. So how do we do that? I recommend no more than an hour a day. I recommend time to stretch and breathe and remember we are what we think we are, that which we put our attention to. So what if for the first time, since we've been sent to our room, we can take a moment and we can breathe and we can stretch. We can put the news down. I'm assuming everybody has what they need for a moment anyway. Toilet paper's back on the shelf, So what if we just take that and we breathe it in and we breathe, I get to come out of this in the best version of me because I am that which I choose. And then what does that mean? It doesn't mean a huge divine revelation, or maybe it does. Maybe it means I've read something I've always wanted to read. Or maybe it means I remember what's most important. That we're all connected. That we're all here to survive. We all have love in our hearts. There's love for self. And how do we stay out of the fear? So for even people that aren't meditators or don't pray, I think we're in a world now where we understand. Something just happened to my screen. Apologize. I believe we're in a world now where that we all understand that if we can get quiet and we can have intention, we can shift our well-being. You know, the School of Psychoneuroimmunology attests to that. Our emotional and cognitive state affects our immune system more than anything else. So stressors. You know, we know this from the cancer and the AIDS times. During those viruses, people that lived longer past their expiration dates, if you will, did that because they chose to grow into themselves. They had people that cared for them. They had support. They found love for themselves. I know this because I was there in the trenches for 10 years. And it was while the field of psychoneuroimmunology was coming to life. So I ask you to really think about that, really know that how you think and how you are connecting to your loved ones digitally or otherwise, it affects their immune system, it affects yours. It's not just what we touch. It's what we give out and what we receive. If we took 3 to 5 minutes of our days, and some people are busier than others. I have been nonstop in service as best as I can. And some people are not busy at all. However this is showing up in your life, it's not an accident. If each of us took 3 to 5 minutes every day and just thought about that, you know, I plan on coming back and doing meditations, but I also want to ask you to think about who do you trust? Who are your spiritual leaders that you trust? Who are your philosophical leaders that you trust? Who are your role models? Reach out to their books and YouTubes and whatever and listen to them. You know, Pillai Center, Dr. Pillai has some incredibly beautiful health improving protection meditations that he has on his site. I send people there. But there are so many more. So follow your heart's guidance and listen to positivity. Because what we know, what psychologists know, what now the science of body-mind knows and understands, what Eastern philosophies and religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, has spoken to is this surrender as acceptance. We know that when we fully, completely understand and accept where we are, regardless of what that is, with fear, with potential negatives, potential positives, when we are in full acceptance of that, it's the terrain. It's the terrain in the present that allows for multiple potentialities for the future. So without this acceptance, without this moment, this terrain, this foundation under our feet of, this is what is. I don't have to like it. It is what is. When we can fully come to that, it brings past into present, into acceptance, into potential futures. When we can't do that, when we fight about it, it shouldn't be, it can't be, of course, doesn't mean it's okay whatever is. It just means it is. When we don't do that, past, present, and future never move. Past always becomes our present, which always becomes our future. So if we can fully know that I am that acceptance, therefore all things can grow. I am in surrender and trust that I, with the help of what's greater, my intuition, my inner wisdom, God, however we think about it, that I will have the future of my desires. I will get through whatever is difficult. Then there's a future, then there's movement, then there's flow. So remember, if there's acceptance, there can be a potentially positive present and potentialities for future. When there is not acceptance, we've laid out a terrain where past, present, and future are stuck in mud. So remember, no mud, no lotus, right? All right. So that's all I have for you today. I will be back. If you have found this useful, I ask you to share. Let's let positivity go viral. Let love go viral. And know that each and every day I spend lots of time in ceremony, in prayer for people to rise up, be healthy, and help this realignment of human consciousness be quick and positive. Remember, we are all relation. Aho.